Let me tell you something real today. You can have all the dreams in the world, all the goals, all the desires, but if you don't respect yourself, if you don't value who you are, then nobody else will. Self-respect is the foundation upon which every aspect of your life stands. The way you see yourself determines how others see you. If you believe you are worthy of love, respect, and success, the world will begin to mirror that belief back to you. But if you doubt your value, if you constantly put yourself down, or allow others to treat you poorly, then that's the energy you invite into your life. Respect begins from within. It's not something people give you, it's something you show them how to give. When you respect yourself, you move differently. You speak with confidence, not arrogance. You make decisions that align with your values instead of chasing approval. You don't beg to be seen, because you already know your worth. People can sense it. It's in the way you walk, the way you speak, and the way you carry yourself. When someone with self-respect enters the room, they don't have to say a word, their energy speaks for them. Think about this. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce. If someone disrespects you and you stay silent, you're telling them it's okay. If you constantly settle for less, you're showing the world you don't believe you deserve more. But when you stand your ground, when you say, "I won't tolerate this," you command respect without even asking for it. Self-respect also means holding yourself accountable. It means not making excuses for your failures, but learning from them. It means knowing your flaws and still choosing to love yourself anyway. You can't expect the world to respect you if you don't respect yourself enough to grow, improve, and take control of your own life. The greatest power you can have is self-control, the ability to decide what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Respect is not built overnight. It's built through choices, daily, consistent choices. Every time you keep your word to yourself, every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you push yourself to rise above negativity, you earn your own respect. And that inner respect becomes unshakable. It becomes the armor that protects you from criticism, rejection, and doubt. You don't need to shout for attention. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. The moment you recognize who you are, the moment you realize that your value doesn't decrease just because someone can't see it, that's when life begins to change. People will start treating you differently because you've changed the way you treat yourself. So, if you want the world to respect you, start by respecting yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Set standards for your life and refuse to lower them for anyone. Respect your time, your goals, your emotions, and your journey. The world doesn't give respect freely, it reflects it. And when you truly value yourself, the world has no choice but to value you too. Boundaries are not walls meant to keep people out, they are gates that protect your peace, your time, and your energy. When you respect yourself, you naturally begin to set boundaries, not because you are selfish, but because you understand your worth. Boundaries are a way of saying, "I value myself enough to protect my space." Many people struggle with this because they fear rejection, conflict, or being labeled as rude. But the truth is, every time you allow someone to cross a line that makes you uncomfortable, you lose a little bit of self-respect. You start teaching people that it's okay to take advantage of your kindness. Respecting yourself means being clear about what you will and will not tolerate. It's about having the courage to say no without feeling guilty. The word no is one of the most powerful tools of self-respect. When you say no to things that drain you, you are saying yes to your peace, your goals, and your growth. Too often, people confuse kindness with compliance. You can be kind and still firm. You can be loving and still say no. Setting boundaries doesn't make you hard, it makes you healthy. Boundaries also reveal who truly respects you. The people who value your presence will never test your limits. They will understand and appreciate your honesty. But those who only benefit from your lack of boundaries will make you feel guilty for having them. That's how you know who belongs in your life and who doesn't. The moment you stop apologizing for protecting your energy is the moment you start living with power and freedom. Creating boundaries also applies to your own habits and routines. You must set boundaries with yourself, with your distractions, your laziness, your negative thoughts. Discipline is a form of self-respect. When you tell yourself, "I will not waste time on things that don't help me grow," you are respecting your potential. Boundaries are not just about other people, they are about mastering your inner world. The more control you gain over your emotions and actions, the more confident and centered you become. Some people will misunderstand your boundaries. They'll think you've changed or become distant. But that's okay. Growth requires distance sometimes. Respecting yourself may cost you some relationships, but it will give you peace of mind, and peace is priceless. You cannot pour into others if your own cup is empty. You cannot show up fully for the world if you are constantly drained and disrespected. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love. It's a declaration that your well-being matters. It's standing up and saying, my energy, my time, and my peace are not free to anyone who decides to take them. And once you start living this way, something powerful happens. You attract people who treat you with the same respect you give yourself. Boundaries are not barriers to connection. They are bridges to healthier, stronger, and more respectful relationships, starting with the one you have with yourself. Confidence is not something you're born with, it's something you build through consistent action and self-discipline. Real confidence doesn't come from compliments, success, or appearance, it comes from keeping your promises to yourself. Every time you say you're going to do something and you follow through, you send a powerful message to your mind that you can be trusted. That's where self-respect and confidence grow, from discipline, from doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. Most people wait for motivation before they take action, but that's not how growth works. Discipline comes first, motivation follows. When you wake up early to chase your goals, when you stay committed despite failure, when you work on yourself quietly while others waste time, that's how you earn confidence. You can't talk your way into self-respect, you have to act your way into it. Confidence built on discipline is solid because it's backed by evidence, the evidence of your own effort, resilience, and consistency. Every disciplined choice is an act of self-respect. When you choose to study instead of scrolling endlessly, when you choose to train instead of making excuses, when you choose to stay focused instead of giving up, you are sending a message to yourself that you matter, that your future matters. That inner message becomes your belief system. And once you believe in your own strength, nothing outside of you can shake it. Discipline also means doing the right thing when no one is watching. It means being honest with yourself about your weaknesses and working on them. It means showing up even when you're tired, unmotivated, or scared. The world respects people who have mastered themselves, those who have control over their actions, emotions, and reactions. Because discipline creates order, and order brings power. Confidence without discipline is fragile, it breaks under pressure. But confidence built on daily effort becomes unshakable. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't need validation or applause. It's silent, humble, and strong. You can always tell when someone has earned their confidence through hard work. They walk differently, they talk differently, and they handle challenges with calm assurance. You must understand that discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. The more disciplined you are, the freer you become. Freedom from regret, from guilt, from self-doubt. When you live with discipline, you no longer fear failure because you trust yourself to rise again. You know that you have built strength through struggle and consistency. So, if you want confidence, start building habits that reflect the person you want to become. Respect yourself enough to keep your word, to stay focused, and to push through the pain. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you grow stronger. And that strength, that consistency, becomes your power. Because confidence doesn't come from being perfect, it comes from showing up every day and proving to yourself that you can. One of the greatest lessons in life is realizing that you don't need anyone's permission to feel worthy. Too many people spend their lives seeking approval, chasing validation, and trying to impress others just to feel accepted. But the truth is, the moment you stop seeking validation from others is the moment you start finding peace within yourself. Respect and confidence cannot grow in a mind that constantly depends on others for recognition. When you base your worth on other people's opinions, you hand over your power, you allow them to decide when you feel valuable and when you don't. That is no way to live. Validation is like a drug. It gives you a temporary high but leaves you empty when it fades. You post something online and wait for likes, compliments, or attention to feel good. You do something kind and secretly hope someone notices. You achieve something and instantly look around to see who's watching. This endless cycle drains your energy and keeps you trapped in insecurity. The more you seek validation, the more control you lose over your own happiness. But when you respect yourself, you don't need others to tell you who you are, you already know. True power comes when you can stand tall in silence, without applause. When you can be proud of yourself even if nobody sees your effort. When you can look in the mirror and say, I'm enough, even when the world doesn't recognize you. You see, external validation is fragile because it changes with people's moods, opinions, and perspectives. But internal validation, the belief that you are enough, is unshakable. It's built on your actions, your integrity, and your self-awareness. Respecting yourself means trusting your own judgment, even when others doubt you. It means not needing to explain your worth to anyone. It means making decisions that align with your values, not with other people's expectations. When you stop seeking validation, you start making choices that serve your growth instead of your image. You stop trying to impress and start trying to improve. That's the difference between living for others and living for yourself. It's not arrogance to believe in your worth, it's strength. People who truly love themselves don't need to prove anything. They walk with quiet confidence because they've accepted who they are, flaws and all. They know they don't need to be perfect to deserve respect. The world starts taking you seriously when you do. Because when you stop begging for attention, you start commanding respect. So stop chasing people's approval. Stop waiting for others to validate your dreams, your effort, or your value. Instead, focus on building the kind of inner strength that doesn't crumble when nobody claps for you. You don't need to be liked by everyone, you need to be respected by yourself. Validation fades, but self-respect lasts forever. And when you finally stop looking for approval outside yourself, you'll find something far more powerful: peace, confidence, and freedom. There comes a point in life when you must decide what truly matters, your peace or their approval. Walking away from anything that lowers your worth is not weakness, it's wisdom. Many people stay in situations, jobs, or relationships that drain their spirit simply because they're afraid of being alone, misunderstood, or starting over. But the truth is, nothing destroys your self-respect faster than staying where you are not valued. When you continue to tolerate disrespect, neglect, or negativity, you slowly teach yourself that you are not worthy of more, and that's a lie you should never believe. Respecting yourself means having the courage to walk away from things that don't align with your values. It means choosing your dignity over temporary comfort. It means saying, I love myself too much to settle for less than I deserve. It's not easy. Walking away often hurts, especially when your heart is still attached or when you've invested time and energy. But what hurts more is losing yourself while trying to please everyone else. You cannot respect yourself if you keep shrinking to fit places that were never meant for you. Every time you walk away from something that doesn't serve your growth, you are sending a message to the universe that you are ready for better. Letting go creates space. Space for new opportunities, healthy relationships, and genuine happiness. Sometimes endings are not a loss, they are redirections. The universe often removes what no longer serves you so that you can find what truly will. But that can only happen when you have the strength to release what's holding you back. Walking away also means trusting yourself. It means believing that you deserve more even when you can't see what's next. It's about having faith that peace is better than chaos, solitude is better than disrespect, and self-worth is better than false validation. People with strong self-respect don't chase, beg, or force things to work. They understand that what is meant for them will never require them to compromise their dignity. You have to learn that silence is more powerful than arguments, distance is healthier than drama, and peace of mind is worth more than popularity. When you choose to walk away from toxic people or unfulfilling situations, you're not being cold, you're choosing clarity. You're choosing to protect your mental health, your confidence, and your dreams. And over time, you'll realize that every goodbye to negativity is actually a welcome to growth. The world respects those who respect themselves. When you stop tolerating disrespect, you automatically raise your vibration. You attract better energy, better people, and better opportunities. You begin to glow differently because you've reclaimed your power. Walking away is not about arrogance, it's about alignment. It's about saying, I know my value, and I will not settle for anything less. And once you start living that truth, everything in your life begins to change, because the moment you Stop lowering your worth for others, you start rising for yourself.